Hi, welcome to episode 2 of Nat 2.
Woo!
Nat 2.
Nat 2. Oh.
I mean, we can clip in you saying it the last time, or you can just say it again.
We'll say it again.
Nat 2.
Just the two of us.
Naturally.
Great. We're fucking dorks.
This is... I've never been so embarrassed about myself. Anyway. Cool. So this is episode 2 of Nat 2. Welcome. Just us. Idiots and yeah.
Two brain cells working together.
Two brain cells. Anyway, great. Cool. As a little recap, pop back into our last episode. So we float down as a large bird in the archipelago of Yennefer. Bird descends on Tavumile Fenra's house.
Heck yeah.
Conscripted by the royal family to farm water clary, which is a very strategically important crop, as it aids in scrying, which is good for spying.
Wow.
Spying, yeah. And so bird comes down, gives you a letter. What does the letter say?
It says that Talenthi would like to, well, maybe not him. It just says that they would request my presence in 3 days' time.
Indeed, the royal family in 3 days' time.
Which Tavumile has taken to mean that Talenthi wants to see her, but not necessarily, because it wasn't signed by Talenthi himself, so it might be somebody else.
That's true. It was signed by a minister, so... Yes, but I think Tavumile has pretty much been like, royal family.
Yeah.
That means it must be the king. So, things that you need because you went there before and you didn't have them and it was a faux pas.
Yeah, free present. And then also maybe some shirts that don't have oatmeal.
Yeah, some outfit and some present. The present was the faux pas.
Yeah.
You compiled something that looked decently. You looked like you were a farm girl dressed up. But you didn't have a present. That was a big friggin' issue. So you are trying to do that. You talked to your best friend Lucian Valmoira, who said that he didn't know and was sort of non-committal, didn't really want to talk about it, but told you to get something serviceable at the general store.
Yeah. And they told me to not listen to Senthid's notions and also to not go into town and to promise him that.
Indeed.
Which I did. And then immediately forgot.
We went to Senthid's general store and, and before that, you got a hot tip from Pigeon.
Yeah.
Who recommended that you get Talenthi a stiff drink, in Talenthi's voice, no less. As you have heard it before.
I also taught him how to love.
You taught the bird how to love, which is
really...
Not we could end the camp. Yeah. we could...
That's why he wants to see me.
Yeah. Teach me how to love again. Just like you taught my bird. It just for the record, maybe it's not his bird. Unknown all we know is that the bird has come in contact at some point with Talenthi.
Yeah.
So we go to the general store. At the general store, Senthid says, hey, you should come into town. There's a lot of stiff drinks there.
And he changes my universal rule of all things by saying that if I promise a new promise,
it'll overwrite the previous promise. And so you abided by that. You hopped on a horse, rolled a stanky 17 stealth check to see if Lucin would hear you sneaking back into your house, and obviously he did not. You left a little note. And now you're clippy-clopping with the Senthid fam through the woods to go to Waypoint Town, and now all of a sudden, oh no, there have been some felled trees on the path, and the clan Senthid and general store lackeys and Tavumile dismount their cat carriage and seek to remove them from the way.
Sweet. Yeah, I think that Tavumile just kind of like very confidently is like, honestly, I know that I don't look like I'm very strong, but I have a lot of hidden muscle underneath my skin.
Right. As you say that, you are like wide-eyed saying this to Senthid, who, like as previously described, is a beanpole with a flat head. But he does take a little like glance over to the two giant muscle-bound trading posts, like longshoreman-esque guys who are flexing as they walk towards these trees. And goes, right, lass, yes, you'll be very helpful, I'm sure. Now let's get these moved. We're already late. And he's continuing to complain when all of a sudden you hear, ah!
I look around wildly.
Cool. Do you want to do anything?
Where is the sound coming from?
Too bad. Another sound. And yeah.
Is everyone all right?
Cool. Now you can do something.
Great. Where is the sound coming from?
From behind you.
Okay.
In the direction that Senthit sort of looked. As he said that, let's, get ready to whatever, he turned away from you.
Uh-huh.
You are behind him, and behind you is presumably the two muscle-bound general store lackeys.
Okay, I'm gonna turn around to look at them.
Got it. As you turn around to look at them, you notice that, they are not there. Where might they be? Roll a perception check.
20, not nat.
Holy crap. You get a absolute, you go, well, process of elimination. They're not on the ground. They must be in the other place you can be. And you look up, and there are two upside-down, muscle-bound guys who are just sort of hanging bewilderedly, like, and like playing with. They're hanging by a rope that is tied around their foot.
Okay.
Each individual ropes tied around an individual foot. Yeah.
I think that
together.
Tavumile is like, oh, well, you're not supposed to be up there. Look, I'll help you out in just 1 second.
Cool.
And she grabs her dagger and throws it to try to cut the rope.
Okay, I mean, roll to hit on the rope.
4.
Great. The freaking rope, you fully whiff, and it dagger buries itself in the tree behind you.
Oh.
Or between under, the tree.
Yeah.
You throw it, it miss, it hit Twee instead.
It hit
Twee.
Well, I'm sorry, that wasn't much help.
So, before you can do anything else, you feel something close around your ankle.
Okay.
Roll a... would you try and...
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to pull
do
my
something.
foot out.
Right,
yeah.
okay. Roll a acrobatics check.
All right. Nat 1.
Excellent. You, we'll say this happens. You, deftly slip your foot out of the first rope and you step back into another rope trap. So as it closes around your ankle, you are thrust up into the air. And now you are airborne as well. And from your upside down vantage point, all of a sudden you see out of the corner of your eye a black flash, and you hear kind of like this thing like is like moving deftly, and out of the tree line you see this black flash do a quintuple backflip out of the highest tree, land behind Senthit, and hold a shiny obsidian dagger to his throat.
Just 1 second, Senthit. And I, reach to my potions, and I am going to throw a potion of friends at him.
Cool. So this is our, again, as kind of previously discussed, this is our spell explanation. We're doing kind of alchemical stuff, so yeah.
Tavumile makes all of her potions herself out of plants that she finds. Sometimes with the ones that are more complicated, she doesn't do it right all of the time, which is where her wild magic will come in, because she's not a great potion maker.
Indeed.
But for friends, she's kind of had it nailed down, where she mixes, freaking dandelions, daisies, friendship flowers.
The friendship flowers.
And so she is going to throw this little potion. It's sparkly and pink.
Very good. The color of friendship.
Yeah. You know when you make friends with somebody and then you feel all sparkly and pink?
Everyone knows that. And you give them a dandelion.
18.
Okay, so you throw this freaking thing at him. I mean, you are absolutely giving evidence to your I have muscle underneath this skin, which is a wild thing to say. And you just freaking like whip this bottle, and it kind of spins in a spiral motion through the air. Hits homie in the chest and just fully like shatters, not like a gazillion pieces, but just the glass cracks and it kind of like gets him a little bit wet.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit taller than Senthit, so even though he's behind him, and he's got him kind of like back and like what's the word? He's like tilted slightly. So his chest is exposed. Okay. Even though he's behind him. He's got his arm at his neck. So it kind of like gets him a little bit wet.
Yeah. I think that when it hits his chest, you can see a little tiny glow of like that pink around where his heart should be, and then it disappears a little bit. Gotcha.
Cool. So what does the potion of friends do?
All right. It for the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile towards you. When the spell ends, the creature realizes that you use magic to influence its mood and become hostile towards you. A creature prone to violence might attack you. Another creature might seek retribution in other ways at the DM's discretion, depending on the nature of your interaction with it.
What checks is it again?
So I have advantage on charisma checks against this guy.
Oh, okay. So it's you have advantage. He doesn't have disadvantage. Yeah. Okay, got it. Cool. So cool. You throw this at him, and as you throw the potion, it kind of cracks, gets him all wet. The first thing that happens is a pigeon who has been growing increasingly confused.
Yeah.
Didn't get off the carriage to the caravan to help move trees because a large bird fully just flies away. Like the sound of the glass breaking was the kind of final straw type situation, and he fully pieces out. He just
goodbye. I hope I see you again soon.
It does not respond.
Okay.
Too far away. Cool. So as you do that,
I think I like direct my attention to freaking this guy. I think I like use my freaking core muscles to haul myself up and grab onto the rope so I can look at him not upside down.
Yeah.
Hello.
As all this is going on, before you can do anything else, Senthit is sort of just generally being like, scared and bewildered Irish noises. And his wife is also up in a tree by the ankle.
Yeah.
And so he's just got the black clothed human.
Yeah.
Has got their clothing wetted by some strange pink lip gloss looking potion. And while you're kind of hauling yourself upwards, he kind of just goes, "Are you kidding? I literally, I just washed this. I only have one set. I'm gonna have to go back. Stop moving around." Like he's like irritated. Senthit's just like, "What are you talking about? You got your clothes dirty. You're gonna kill me, And they're like scuffling or whatever.
Hey, excuse me.
What is it? And him and that was Senthit talking. They both like look up at you.
Hi, my name's Tavumile. Could you let us down, please?
Just like give me 1 second, okay? Gosh, I just found it, and he's like complaining, and then all of a sudden he goes, snaps his fingers, and everybody just falls out of the tree. Cool. You got everyone. You take 2 damage. You weren't up that high.
I got freaking 8 hit points, man.
You don't. That's less than 8, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't listen. Don't get trapped by 3 other guys in trees, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, well,
I recommend. That's what I recommend for you. Anyway, so he snaps his fingers.
And she like rubs her head. And she's like, all right,
So he's still got Senthit like knife point kind of sorta. And after he kind of cuts everybody down, he like pushes him back, like turns around, puts the kind of knife away, pushes him back, and is just kind of like, all right, and then like Senthit is kind of like, what was that all about? All of that, whatever, you're just going to let me go or something? The guy goes, look, it's just my job, okay? I gotta stand out here in the middle of the forest it with some trees and, and it's like hot outside. It's just, it's lost its like sparkle. You know what I mean?
Well, you kind of have some sparkle on you now from the thing I threw at you.
Oh, that was you. Okay, cool, great. So that's really fun that you did that. It smells nice, at least. There's that. And he's like touching it, and he's like, it's all sticky, and this is.
Oh, well, I made it myself, so I haven't been able to figure out how to not make them stain on people's clothes. But I'm Tavumile. Can I see your hands, please?
As you were saying, like, as he was kind of like, touching his shirt, he's got the dagger that he was holding. He's kind of like doing cool, like, like butterfly knife, shing, 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 tricks with it, touching the goo on his chest and stuff like that. And when you say, can I see your hands, or whatever you said.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah, can I see your hands? Okay,
cool, I forgot. He fully just, like, stops all of a sudden. It's just like, what are you talking about?
It's just like a friendly gesture. If I could just see your hands.
Are you messing with me?
No.
Like, do you know who I am? He's like looking around him.
Honestly, I can't lie. Yeah, you could ask anyone, I can't lie at all. It really looks like I'm lying. So I just don't do it. So I'm not.
Okay. Do you want go ahead and roll charisma?
Okay.
Senthet is just like, what the heck is going on?
Wow, I rolled a nat 20 and a nat 1.
Well, you got advantage, so how fortuitous. But yeah, the DC for that was like 19 because he's so like because of this reason. So you say, can I see your hands?
Yeah.
He sort of is like kind of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like whether or not he's going to offer you them. He's still, as you were kind of talking, when he stopped with his like butterfly knife, he's kind of like, he's got some cool Assassin's Creed like sleeve knife thing going on, and it kind of just right back up in there. It makes that noise. It doesn't. So he's just kind of standing there with his hands out. And so you can just like grab him.
I think that I'd like gently take him in, looking at him, being like, I hope that this is all right. It seems like you're having trouble making a decision, and I know that I tend to have trouble making decisions, and then people just make the decision for me, and that tends to help.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. 18.
Jeez. Okay, so you notice that there's something weird about his hands.
Okay.
Specifically that he's like missing some of his fingers, and like some of them it's like one knuckle, some of them it's like two knuckles, and they are begloved with like leather gloves or whatever, because cool, the highwayman action. But yeah, you immediately notice that, and you can tell that you're just like blathering on about, I know when it's hard to make a decision or whatever, and he's just staring at you going like, what? She could probably tell. She'd probably tell that I could. This is weird. I hate all of this.
I think that Tavumile, like, she acknowledges it, but not like she just locks away in her mind, being like, well, everybody's different, and then like doesn't mention it to him at all.
Why are you grabbing this dude's hands?
Because
I just want to say, I have fully planned a different thing, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm gonna grab his hands. I'm like, oh, you're gonna know the interesting thing about this guy. All of a sudden, what are you trying to do?
I want to tie his hands up.
Oh, okay, it's fair. All right, so you're holding his hands. He's sort of like maybe having a breakdown over the fact that he's like, I don't know, why is she making fun of me? I don't get it. Okay, so go ahead and roll for sleight of hand.
Okay.
Against his passive perception.
Okay. 17.
Okay, great. So
I'm freaking rolling great.
You're rolling, yeah. It's either, yeah. So you grab his hands, you fully just like tie him up, like as he is kind of just like bewildered by the goings on. All the while this is happening, Senthet at this point is also just looking on like, what? Like, first of all, what just happened? Second of all, is my wife okay? third of all, I think they're maybe making goo-goo eyes. I don't know. All of a sudden, she's holding his hands. And so, yeah, as that's going on, and our friend, now unnamed, is just, like, you're holding his hands, you fully tie them up.
Yeah.
Like, with no problem. And, yeah.
Cool. I do that. I'm like, well, I'm sorry that I'm doing this. It seems like you were trying to hurt my friend, but I want...
Oh, look at that. He interrupts you. He's like, oh, look at that. That was, you fully, like, totally got that under my radar. That's, that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive.
Thanks.
I bet they would like you. You know, I mean, you're a little springy, but, like, they might like you back in the guild,
What's a guild?
Before you can say, what did you tie his wrists together with?
Just, like, loose string that she probably has in the bottom of her bag.
Heck yeah. As he's kind of like, yeah, that's pretty impressive. He, like, clicks his heels and, like, some Assassin's Creed knives come out of his shoes. And he just, like, shunk, slices it off. He's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Wow, yeah, that was impressive. And you distracted me by the whole hands thing. I mean, that's pretty weird. Do you really not know who I am?
No. What's your name? My name's Tavumile.
It's kind of funny. Yeah. So, my name's Fingers.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the big guy thinks he's funny.
What's a guild? Who's the big guy? And who would like me?
The Thieves Guild.
Oh,
you can't tell from he's fully dressed in, like, black leather armor and a balaclava.
Yeah.
He's like, the Thieves Guild. Like, I know, like, knives and throats. It's for intimidation purpose. I'm not one of those Assassin's Guild freaks. I'm not into that. But yeah, so big guy, thinks he's really funny and decided my nickname would be Fingers. So that's why I got all weird when you were like, oh, let's see your hands. I was like,
I
does
don't
she know
get
who I
the
am?
joke.
Okay. He, like, is like, right. Anyway, yeah, so, so anyway, give me all your money. All that's kind of passed. Here's your, coin purse.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you even took it.
Well, that's, it's part of it.
I'm going to town to buy, something that's a stiff drink, which I've been told is alcohol. I'm not really sure. And also a dress.
Okay, he's gonna turn to Senthit and be like, here's yours. You seem a little more mad about the whole situation. He like tosses it to him. And Senthit, like, catches it and is like, what? And before he can get mad in Irish, he's also like, oh, and this is your wife's. And he, like, flicks his thumb, like, flicking a quarter and a brooch. Like, sorry, it's part of the job. I have to do this. They'll get mad if I don't. Anyway, so look, oh, that's right, too. I totally forgot about this. This is crazy. Like, this is crazy. I mean, I've been a thief a long time, and this is wild. The giant bird that was in your caravan, which, by the way, what's going on?
It's my friend.
All right. I mean, I guess so. You seem like the type of person who would have a giant bird as a friend. Anyway.
Well, thank you.
He had this with him, wild, crazy, and he pulls out of his bag a bundle of water clary.
Oh. Well, I grow that.
Yeah, this is yours, right?
I think, yeah.
I mean, if he's your friend, I would imagine. Yeah, anyway.
I think that she, like, takes it and just puts it in her satchel, and she's just like, I wonder why he would have that.
Dude, listen, that was a internal thought.
Yes.
What you just said. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, I've been a thief a long time, but that stuff, I don't mess with that, stuff like that. I'm not, one of those people who messes with stuff like that, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Anyway, I don't feel like the big man needs to know about that, so I'm just giving it back to you.
I'm not very good at, like, subliminal messaging, so when you're picking up what I'm putting down, I don't even see what you're putting down.
Right. So anyway, Senthit, he, like, turns and looks at him, and Senthit's like, oi? He's like, right, listen, I didn't steal your stuff. I mean, I kind of did. I gave it back. I'm really not trying to, I just want to, take the box at this point. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, as it were. if you could just give me a ride back to the town, back to the guild, that would be great. We could call it even. Except, Incenthet is like, you just held me at knife point. He's like, I'll get in trouble if you don't give me something to show for this. So if you could just throw me a little something, that would be great.
Please. I mean, he does seem like he's rather reasonable. He's being pretty nice.
See, I'm reasonable. I think everything that just happened was evidence that I'm a reasonable guy.
I think so.
Great. So anyway, yeah. Should we head out at this point? And Incenthet is just like, you're not coming with us. And he's like, but he's like not doing anything to prevent that from happening.
Oh,
like,
Incenthet, it's gonna be fine. He'll go into town and then he'll leave us alone and then he won't be like, we know who he is.
Look,
now he's a friend.
I'll bet it's all gonna be fine. Now, if we can just please get into town before I'm ridiculously late. I mean, the sun is already in the middle of the sky. Right. Let's go. And so, like, he's like, he's like, come on, lads, and like, big lackey noises, and they're all kind of like they're like eyeing Fingers, who's giving him a semi-fingered wave, and is like, cool. So let's get going, and he's gonna climb in the back of the caravan.
I think I follow him.
Okay, so you're not mounting the horse again. Gotcha. Cool. So Incenthet is like fully rage mode. You can hear like, angry, quiet Irish noises being like, I can't believe it's guys come out of the
Don't
woods.
worry about Incenthet. He gets a little steamed
Oh, I'm not
sometimes.
worried. Do I sound worried? Let's go. And so like his wife is like, ha ha ha. Yeah, mush. I don't know. You say to horse. Yeah. And they start clippity clopping. In the interim, while this was going on, they moved the frickin' trees.
Okay.
So the trees have been moved. The lackeys moved the trees while you guys were having conversations. What I guys do? I gotta describe everything. And then your heart beats, and then you breathe. Okay. Anyway. Cool. So as you're kind of clip clopping down the road, you and Fingers fall into for you wouldn't know this, but I want Shay to know this. An extremely awkward silence.
Okay.
Fingers does not spend a whole lot of time in the company of other non-thief type folk.
Yeah.
And so he's just sort of like he's doing the most like I feel awkward about this activities that one could possibly do. Actually, you know what? Roll to see if Tavumile is picking up.
Okay. Is it perception or insight?
Perception.
10.
Okay, I would say even because they're so evident. He's like,
so what are you doing in town? You said that you're part of a thieves guild.
Yeah. It's just like a club. It's like a
I
club.
love clubs.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think you like this one. It's a club, and we all kind of hang out. And I live there, and you got to be a thief to live there, and so I'm a thief, and. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's not, I don't want to dump all this on you.
How did you become a thief? I'm a very good listener.
We don't need to talk about that. But the point is I am one now, and, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Is the end of the line.
What do you mean, the end of the line?
Just like, guess I'm a thief forever.
Right. I mean, you don't need to be. My mum told me that, you can always be whoever you want to be as long as you put in hard work. And
oh, you know what? That reminds me of, he interrupts you. He's like, I totally forgot about this. And he reaches into his like little thieves bag and pulls out a like little metal container and opens it, and it's just got like spaghetti inside. And he just starts like eating it, and he's like, yeah, my mom made this. That was the through line. That was why
that's what reminded you
that's
of that.
What reminded I'm not really sure what she was going for. I think it was supposed to be like a fusion thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I got a lot going on tonight, so I gotta get fueled up for it.
I always cook for my mum, or my friend Lucian cooks for my mum, because she's been very sick for the past, year or so. So she hasn't had much energy to do anything.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry. I feel like a jerk now.
Don't
talking
feel
about
like a
my
jerk.
mom who's fine. Oh.
Lucien always tells me that I need to not be so worried about anything. He always says that, if you worry about the future, there's no point in it because then you'd be scared all of the time. So, honestly, I'm not going to worry about my mom because she's fine right now and I get to be with her right now. And so if I worry about the future and what maybe her illness might do, then I'll just be scared all of the time and then I won't enjoy the time that I have with my mom.
He, as you say that, his, fork clinks against the container, and he's like, oh, geez. Oh, no, that's, topical. I think, it hit me in my heart, I think.
Oh.
I think I'm just gonna, and he's kind of, talking normally,
Yeah.
but as he's talking, he's, putting away his spaghetti. He's fully starts crying. There's big roly-poly tears falling down his cheeks, and he's just like, I think I'm gonna go somewhere else. And he just starts he climbs out of the window and onto the roof of the caravan. And he's just kind of sitting up there, and you can hear this hopefully that'll be quieter in the recording, but it's the sound of rain, tears on the roof of the caravan. He's just oh goodness, oh jeez, oh this
Are
is.
You all right?
No, yeah. Listen, don't worry about it. Do you want to eat the rest of the spaghetti?
I would love that.
He throws it in through the window. Here you go. There you go.
I grab it.
Here you go. And you just hear distressed thief noises. He continues to cry. You continue to sit in the caravan, but you can see out the window. You're getting closer into town. You have been to town before in your life, but you were extremely, extremely chaperoned.
Okay.
And it was long enough ago that you don't really have a good, solid memory of what it looked like. You have a general memory. So you know that you're getting close because the Waypoint Town is in a valley, and all of a sudden this elevation, which has been going up and up and up, is starting to decrease rapidly. So yes, at the border of the Talenthi and Horavyok, originally set up as a temporary trading post over the 4-year alliance between the Talenthi, Weftway, and Horavyok clans, it has grown and become a sprawling city with cobblestone roads and buildings built on top of one another in sort of a haphazard, no city planning, we want this here now building type of way. It has its own municipal government, city watch, and is frequented by folks from normal citizens to adventurers, border guards from both nations due to its proximity. It has a reputation as a party city. It is the only place for miles in which anything is going on. Yes, it is mountainous, hilly, cobblestone roads. It's red light district without the red lights. And it is very sort of you can't find anything unless you already know where it is.
Okay.
Type of affair.
I think that I crawl out on top where Fingers is, and I give him back his little tin, and then I'm like, it's been a really long time since I've been in the town. This is actually quite exciting.
Oh, really? He's wiping his tears away. Roll a insight check.
Okay. Wow, 19.
You are dumb, but you can tell that he has just had an emotional time, and, well, that's evident, but you can tell that he feels really embarrassed about it.
Aww.
He's wiping his tears away and trying to shake it off, and he's like, oh yeah, everything's fine.
Emotions are a good part of life.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. Anyway, let's talk about you. Why haven't you been in town for a long time?
Well, because Lucien says that it's dangerous, so I'm not really allowed to go into town. I always have to promise him to not go into town. But
who's Lucien?
My best friend. He's a medic back home where I am. And he helps take care of my mum, and I've known him all of my life. But I made him a promise that I wasn't going to go into town, but then I made Scented a promise that I wasn't going to listen to Lucien, and he told me that exited out.
All right, let's stop talking about you. Let's talk about something else. Lucien, you said he's a medic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can see maybe why he would have an issue with town, but I mean those guys are
What's
just
dangerous about town? I mean, you seem rather nice.
Look, the answer to your question is that there's nothing dangerous about town. He rolls his eyes at even that you're having this conversation. He's like, people have a perception that town is dangerous because people are going to try and fill your head with notions.
A lot of people have said that to me.
Just because it's true, listen, don't take this the wrong way. Okay? Don't take this the wrong way.
That's kind of hard for me to do.
Okay. I don't know what else to say.
Great.
I'm going to say something that you maybe could interpret in a bad way, but I want you to interpret it in a good way.
All right.
Okay. You seem like the type of person who is impressionable.
I don't know what that word means.
Anyway, a lot of people are going to try and fill your head with notions about the Talenthi's and the town and the alliance and stuff like that.
Right.
Just don't listen to them, okay?
All right.
Just like, don't listen to those guys who are telling you, it's dangerous there or whatever. Don't listen to those guys who are like, I know exactly what Tembra, Talenthi's, whatever. Don't don't listen to those jokers who are always calling the elves friggin' pointy-eared, B words or whatever.
Have you met Lucien?
I probably have. Not exactly, but, you seem pretty literal. Not exactly him, but, the type of person. I just want you to, promise me that you won't listen to those people.
Okay.
You look sick, maybe? You look sick? You okay?
This is the third promise I've made today.
As you say that, you ka-dunk into the the beginning of a cobblestone road. And as that kind of starts, it kind of startles you out of your conversation.
Yeah.
And there's this it's a town with a big wall around it. And so Senthet is talking to the guards to, as you approach, you're going clippity-clop down the cobblestone roads. The city gets bigger and bigger and bigger in front of you. It was sort of like, as you were talking, you were kind of approaching it, but you were so lost in conversation that you didn't notice the approach.
Yeah.
And so now all of a sudden you're there.
Okay.
And so... yeah, it's big, a sprawling town. If you approach the gate as you're kind of clippity-clopping down, Senthet kind of hops down and starts having a stupid conversation with one of the guards, like, we got to time with thieves, blah, 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 the weather these days. Anyway.
I think I turned to Fingers. I'm like, Fingers?
Fingers isn't there.
Fingers!
Hey, you can hear this.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, freaking shut up.
What?
He was gonna reach an arm on the outside of the carriage and grab you by the scruff, the back of your overalls, and just haul you backwards into the thing.
Wow, you're sneaky.
I'm gonna roll a check to see if he does a good job. It's a bumpy ride. You kind of just knock against everything. I'll say you take 1 damage.
Oh my god.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I have now 5 hit points.
That's all you need. You don't need any more than that. Oh, hey. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Listen, I'm usually better at that. Are you okay?
Yeah.
I have ye old Band-Aids in my first aid kit. He gives you he wraps a little, bandage around your bruised arm for no reason. When you give a kid with no cut a Band-Aid, this is what he's doing. He's like, I think that this would be good for you. And he's like, listen, you can't I'm a thief,
Oh.
Yeah. So I would kind of get in trouble. And so as you guys are having this conversation, they're like, conversation has ended. And you keep going through the gate.
Yeah.
And Senthet has sort of... you could hear him having a conversation about a thief or whatever. And clearly, Fingers got out of Dodge fast enough to be fine. And so, so as you kind of you keep going, you go through the gate, they open the door. And you're going through, Senthet is like, look, you're welcome, okay? Because I knew you were in here, and if I had said, oh, he's in the back of the caravan, I don't know if you heard me tell him that you must have run off or something, you'd be in a bad way.
Senthet, I think that you would have a much better time if you just forgave people a little bit more easily.
I've
been having a nice conversation with him, and he's rather nice, honestly.
Yeah, I'm rather nice, honestly. Roll a perception check.
9.
He sounds kind of funny, but like you've heard him be sad once. This doesn't really sound sad. It just kind of sounds like defeated, but you can't really.
Senthid or the fingers?
Fingers.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm a nice guy. Anyway, so Senthid, can you hook me up with a little something? And Senthid's like, a little something of what, lad? You didn't take anything out of my coin purse? And he's like, no, so I figured, you could give me something that you wouldn't miss. Like, if you got like a little golden horse or something. I think that would...
I have something for you. And she reaches into her bag and pulls out her favorite button.
As you do that, you like hold it up, and as you do that, a tiny golden horse flies through the like window and nails the button and knocks it out of your hand.
My button!
Friggin' fingers. Actually, I'll roll for this too. Fingers rolled an 18. Actually, excuse me. He gets a plus 10 to this roll.
Holy fuck.
You rolled a 28. He perfectly catches in one hand the golden horse.
Yeah.
So that when the horse hit the button, they bounced off in like equal opposite directions. And so one hand like deftly catches the horse and the other one like snatches the button out of thin air, and he goes, "Thanks," and he like hands you back the button.
You don't want that.
No, I got this horse, so...
All right.
I mean, what's the big guy? If I bring him a button, was he going to be like, oh, did you rob a button maker? He's not going to...
I found it in a river. That's honestly quite rare.
You have a point. And as you keep, like, clippity-clopping down the road, you hear, like, whoa, and some horse, like, clip, 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 clip. And outside of you see is super hustling and bustling. There's like people everywhere, every which way, walking every which way, and very cosmopolitan and metropolitan. That's the word I'm looking for. Cosmopolitan. That kind of works. And you see in a sign out the window in big letters, it says the trading post. So you have arrived at Senthid's destination.
Fingers, 1 second. And then I grab his hand to be like, you can't go anywhere yet. And then I kind of stick my head out the carriage window and I'm like, Senthid, are you going to be here to take me back home?
Roll a perception check.
Okay.
Real quick.
4.
Fingers is fine and loves that you're holding his hand again.
Okay.
Cool. So you said, Senthid, are you going to be here to take me back? Yes, I will, lass, but you've got to be back. He's, like, unloaded himself from the carriage, and the lackeys are starting to kind of untie things that were attached to the outside. And, he's, like, suddenly inundated with people asking him questions, so he's sort of irritatedly looking over his shoulder, and he's like, I really shouldn't have done this. After all, you know that Senthid and Lucian sort of have a, like, rivalry between them, and so he did that kind of to stick it to Lucian, and now he's regretting it. He's like, yes, lass, we will, but you got to make sure you're back here before it gets dark, all right?
Okay.
Because I've got to be able to tend my store, and if you're not back, we'll have to leave you in town.
Well, okay. I'll be back here before it gets dark.
Okay, do promise me.
She fully is like on the verge of tears. She's like, that'll be the first promise that I've made today, and I don't know which ones are negating the other ones.
Just come back before dark.
All
and
right.
He like turns back to his whatever.
And turns to Fingers, and she like kind of gathers herself a little bit, and she's like, sorry about that. Can you show me around town? I've never been, I've been here once, but I hardly remember it, and I didn't go anywhere by myself.
I gotta get back.
Please?
I really gotta go back to, it's not good if I'm, out walking around that much. Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Nat 20.
I hate this game. Sure, I would love to. I can't. I think so. In terms of like in-game making this make sense, when you held his hands for the first time, his little heart all of a sudden was like, "Oh, I might be a person.
Oh.
I might not just be a tool. I might be a person, maybe." And like, she didn't get why it was funny that my name was Fingers. And I think I'm gonna cry. I think maybe that's part of why I cried. Like, that was his whole internal monologue. And so now you're holding his hand again.
Yeah.
And he's like, am I gonna let this go? Am I gonna let this moment pass before my eyes? What if I never see this person again? I mean, not like that, but like, and so he's like having this internal issue, and he's like, where do you want to go?
I need to get a stiff drink, which I guess is some alcohol, and then I also need to get like something nice to wear.
Okay, there's a tavern, kind of up the road, and there's a curio shop. Do you think is for do you think that they'd like skulls?
Maybe. I think that might be cool.
Well, there is that, and then the stiff drink, right, is the gift that you're trying to find. Well, royal family. There's a fancy schmancy Weftway liquor store around town, so you could try them too.
Do you think that and I open up my coin purse and I look 4 gold and 1 silver would be able to buy anything?
Well, I mean, you could get yourself a stiff drink at the tavern for about that. And as you're kind of doing this, he's doing that thing that, like, gentlemen do, or like, he's trying to pretend like he is one, because he's with a lady. And he's, like, sitting in the back of the caravan with you, getting ready to leave, putting his friggin' Puschetti back in the thing, and getting all ready. And as you're having this conversation, there's the thing where the caravan is off the ground, and he's on the ground, and you're in the caravan, and he's like, how do I touch her? What do I touch? How do I touch her? And so he's kind of like navigating that as he's telling you this stuff. And so when you're like, I have this many's gold or whatever, he's like, you could get a stiff drink for yourself at the tavern. I think what he kind of lands on, actually, a little freaking roll. That was a nat 1. It's a 7. Okay. It's not that bad. He kind of like grabs you under the armpit, like full thumb in the pressure point, and is like, this doesn't feel right, and he just kind of yanks you onto the ground really fast. He's like, you can, plop. Sorry, I've never done this before. Anyway, so yeah, you could, I could use a drink myself, honestly.
Well, why don't we go there first?
Sounds great. The only thing is this, I definitely have to be back at the Thieves Guild, like, not even, like, way before. You think you need to be back before nightfall. I need to be back in lots of time to get ready for tonight.
Right.
Or I'm gonna get, the big guy's I'll never hear the end of it. But the other thing is this. I'm a thief, right? Right, we can agree on that. We don't really like the city watch. So, if there's one around, I have to disappear.
Okay.
So if I'm suddenly gone, that's why.
All right. Sure. I mean,
Great.
The likelihood of seeing City Watch, I mean, that's probably not very high.
Yeah. In a city, yeah. Well, I guess it's a town. Town watch. Anyway. So you said you wanted to go to the tavern. Oh, and then the last place we were talking about, there's a dress shop. That's for sure. There's a couple, but I think that, I mean, listen, I know you have, like, a pocket lint and 4 gold pieces, but you also have something else that, like, is pretty valuable around here.
My button?
Yeah. Give me 1 sec. I want to roll something back here. Yeah, your button. he thinks you're being covert.
Yeah.
Because he's a thief, and he knows about that. And he's like, yeah, your button, okay?
Oh.
Your button's real valuable.
It honestly
Yeah,
it is.
you can't go taking it out and showing it to people because it might cause a ruckus.
Really?
A stir, even.
All right.
So you got to keep that, locked down.
Oh, I like showing people my button.
Right, but you can't.
All
Right? And so just keep it in your pocket, but if you need some fancy stuff, you can always, see what people will trade for.
All right.
Yeah, just like, keep it on the down low. I don't want you to get into trouble. Not for any particular reason. Roll a perception check.
Okay. 7.
Great. You're having a normal conversation with a normal guy, and everything is normal. And he goes, yeah, not for any particular reason. And he looks over and all of a sudden goes, oh, look, a bird.
Huh?
A giant bird.
Where?
Yeah, and he points, and you look off in the direction of the giant bird. Roll a insight check, we'll say.
6.
Cool. Yeah, man, I guess there could be a bird over there. So you turn your head, you look, and you see sky. You see a beautiful, bright, shining sky, some clouds, life is good.
I don't see any bird. Fingers, where did you see the bird?
As you, Shay, might imagine, as you turn around, Fingers is a puff of smoke. Fully disintegrated into planet Earth.
Fingers.
Yeah, and so kind of as you were having this conversation, sort of vaguely moving in the direction of the tavern, you were doing a really good job you weren't, noticing this because, Thief Fingers is good at moving in a way that is unobstructive, shall we say.
Okay.
But he was sort of weaving you through a relatively crowded crossing.
Okay.
All of a sudden, he's gone at an opportune moment, which is the middle of the crossing. Think like Shibuya crossing. It's a relatively, for a little town or town, it's like the biggest town you could possibly imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're right in the middle of this, and there's people, going every which way. I mean, it's a trading post, a major thoroughfare. There's lots of shops nearby. You're near town square, all that good stuff. And all of a sudden, you find yourself in the middle of it.
I'm just gonna look around and be like, does anyone know where the tavern is?
Yeah, you're kind of starting to cause a traffic jam, and people are like, what are you doing in the middle of the street?
I need to find the tavern.
This girl's crazy, what's going on? And you're kind of just looking around where's that tavern? And before you can kind of do anything else other than kind of walk around and ask if anybody knows what the tavern is, you feel a hand on your upper back, kind of guiding you to the other side of the street, kind of facing the direction you were going. And as you get to the other side of the street, you're still kind of facing the opposite direction. You hear from behind you a voice go, "What's a bird like you doing in the middle of the frog?"
And I turn around to look at this person.
So you turn around and he's kind of hunched, stooped, super skinny, he looks like Waluigi. He rolled a perception check.
Okay. Freaking 5.
He's wearing a outfit that you don't know the meaning of.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah.
I just need to find where the tavern is.
The moment you say tavern, you hear something click in his brain. He goes, "Sorry, love," and he turns to the side and he just pukes friggin' everywhere. He was smoking a cigarette when that happened, so it was cigarette and then puke on top of it. Sorry, ma'am. I'm not at my best, All day, he said tavern. All day yesterday I was on me plates. And truth be told, last night I was having a few pig ears with me china last night at the Rubber-Dub-Dub. and I had two lads having a bit of a barney outside, and naturally I went to grab a butcher's, but I was pissed, you see. So I tried to go up the apples and pears, and I slipped and landed right on me bottle, and there's no porkies. And he's like, he laughs like a donkey, and he's like, like that kind of way. And he's like, as he's having this sentence, he's like, he lights another cigarette. He just like takes a drag.
Yeah. Right. I really don't know what you just said, but I think I can gather that you don't feel well, or you didn't have a good time last night. But I heard that oats are great for stomach aches. So if you wanted some of these.
Oh, I really don't think like I'm, that's gonna.
Well, there's also this that I have. I've heard that, I do use it as medicine sometimes. And I pull out like a leaf of the water clary.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll something.
I think Tavumile's freaking stupid. Doesn't get it.
Well. He rolled a nat 1 on perception. I did roll it with disadvantage just because he's hungover as heck. But he's just like, oh, us coppers can't be having things like that on the job, They'd have my badge, you see.
Well, it's just a plant.
Well, yeah, you're right, it's just a plant, but it's got, it's a special plant. Love, you probably shouldn't be, and he kind of, is pushing it into his own hand.
Well, if you don't want it, I can just put
it listen, love, I didn't say I didn't want it, and he kind of squirrels it the rest of the way. All right, well, you said a tavern, right, is what you're looking for.
Yes, I'm looking for a tavern and a dress shop, because I'm supposed to meet Talenthi in 3 days' time, and last time I didn't bring him a gift, and apparently that was really bad.
First of all, Talenthi? What are you meeting him for?
He wants to see me. I'm not sure. I received a letter from him.
Oh, you were the bird what went before, and you didn't bring him a gift, right?
How does everybody know about that?
Sweetheart, it was all over the news.
I don't read the news.
Well, don't start. Okay, don't start.
What did it say?
You don't need to worry about that. Don't read that one. Read something else.
All right.
Anyway, is this I dig the get up. That's what Cockney people say. I dig the get up. Is that for tonight?
What get up?
What are you talking about? The whole springtime thing you got going on.
This is just what I look like.
What's
going
bet
on
it
tonight?
Is. Anyway, listen. What's it? Tavern. So if you go, you're looking for a tavern. If you go, you're looking for a gift for Talenthi at a tavern.
Yes, I heard that he likes stiff drinks, which then somebody told me that was alcohol.
Oh, you mean like a pig's ear?
I've never had alcohol before, so I'm not quite sure.
Well, I don't think, listen, this is where the tavern is. It's a few miles up the frog. It's going to be on your left, okay? You're going to go straight up the frog, make a left, make a right, make a U-turn. It's a tavern there. It's called the Dented Euphonium.
The Dented Euphonium? Okay.
But I don't think that's where you want to go to. All right? Listen, so it's a tavern, and then, was it a dress shop?
Somewhere where I could buy something that's a little bit nice to wear.
So, as he's reading you these directions,
yeah.
In between each word, he's taking a pull off of his cigarette.
Yeah.
Kind of absentmindedly is just lighting additional cigarettes. You notice he also had one lit behind his ear before too.
Do you get more out of it if you just have numerous ones lit?
What are you talking about, love? He's mid directions.
You already have one lit behind your ear.
Oh, would you look at that? Ha ha! And he's had 3 also, and he kind of holds one out. He's like, "You fancy an oily rag?"
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, it's a cigarette.
I've never had one. She grabs it. What do I do with it?
Oh, you just like that. Okay, well that went well. Anyway, so dress shop, am I right? Anyway, so Off the top of me life, there's this dress shop in between the tavern, and there's a really, really fancy, elven for elves liquor store. So you go, it's the tavern and then the dress shop. Dress shop, keep going straight, make a right, make a left, make another right, make another left, and then you're there, dress shop, and then the last stop on your kind of list is a liquor store. The only thing is, it's a bit of a strange, rule, but they have this rule at the liquor shop that you can't just go in there and buy something. You've got to already be a customer. So you got to know somebody who's already... They won't let you in, even in the front door, unless you're one of their current customers. I know.
Well, are you a current customer?
Who, me? He does like his donkey laugh. Do I look like I would make it into a bloody elf shop? You have no idea what species of race, I should say, this guy is. Species. Yeah. You have no idea. Okay. It's not evident. He's too freaking specific to be anything. But he's like, listen, I know it's a rule. I didn't Adam and Eve it when I first heard it. Anyway, listen, thanks for the chin wag, love. I gotta go get my whistle all ready for tonight. Me trouble and me bricks and mortar would never let me live it down if I looked like a tramp. Let me know if you see a tea leaf named Fingers. I've been looking for him for a while now.
Fingers? Why have you been looking for him?
He's a tea leaf.
What's a tea leaf?
A thief.
Oh.
A tea leaf. Well, you seen him recently.
Yes, but he's rather quite nice. I don't see why you'd be looking for him.
Well, listen, I'll bet he's nice, right? Anyway, you see him again, you let me know, all right, love? All right, get yourself... You gotta promise me.
Oh, God.
All right, well, get yourself to the tavern.
Right. Can you show me? Like, can you come with me?
Oh, no, it's out of my jurisdiction. That's what we're supposed to say as citizens. It's out of my jurisdiction.
Well, I don't live here, so I'm not technically a citizen.
Well, you know where it is now, don't you?
I guess so. You kind of talk funny,
you
so
be
I don't
good.
Really know.
You be a good girl, eh? All right, and he, turns away. He'd been, doing the thing where you are trying to walk away.
Yeah.
So he's fully facing the other direction, and he's just looking over his shoulder at you to be like, I'm leaving.
All right, well, love you. And she turns around and walks away.
You hear him stop as he processes that, and then he just keeps moseying. Cool. So I don't remember the directions I told you to give. You go in those directions.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the
go straight, turn left, turn right, make a U-turn.
Sounds good. What insert directions here. So, as you are making your way downtown, walking fast, faces past in your homebound. You're on your way to the dented euphonium. And so you go in the direction, there's people everywhere. There's, horses and carriages and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And you're bumping into people, but if you follow the directions properly, and you arrive at the dented euphonium. So, it is a tavern. It has dark, kind of green siding on the outside.
Okay.
It's got big glass windows, glass doors, doors with big windows in them. Brass door handles. You can see in the inside it is absolutely friggin' packed. Completely packed. Which, to Tavumile, she might not see something strange about that in the middle of the day, but to Shay, you might clock that's strange. It is fully packed. The sign, it's got a beautiful hand painted sign, says the dented euphonium, and the first E in euphonium is kind of weird looking, it was the dented euphonium, they were going for a joke and it didn't really super land type thing. So do you go inside?
Yeah, I think I do. And I think as I'm walking past everyone, I kind of look around at everyone, and then I'm okay, who is the one that's in charge here?
So you see, there's tons of customers all over the place. It's got dark wood floors, dark red leather, like banquet seats.
Yeah.
With these dark wood tables. Everything is but it's kind of contrasted with the bright sunlight, like streaming through.
Yeah.
And there's sort of like, it's like lighting up these dust motes type thing. And as you're kind of making your way through, roll a perception check real quick.
Okay. 16.
Cool. So, you have kind of like put together, there is a bar and there are 2 orcs at the bar.
Okay.
You, Shay, would know that they were orcs, but Tavumile probably has never seen, I would imagine, an orc before. Yeah. So you're just like, some green
fellows.
Elves, question mark. They got pointy ears too. They're just kind of small. Anyway. But they are both tending bar. It is a large man, like big old tusks, muscle bound, has the sleeves ripped off of his cool piratey, old timey looking shirt.
Yeah.
And a female orc who is to orc kind ravishingly beautiful.
Okay.
To Eladrin et al. Kind, she's definitely an orc, that's for sure. And yeah, so you kind of like put together that they are in charge at least, or they would know what's going on.
Yeah.
And are you gonna go towards them, or are you?
Yeah, I think I walk up to the bar and I was like,
so
hello?
Real quick, as you're walking up, you can hear people talking.
Okay.
Go ahead, roll a perception check.
All right. Freaking that 20 again.
All right, so you freaking hear everything. So as you are walking in that direction, you hear people around you going, "Oh, it's like because of the tonight, it's like springtime. It's so funny. It's just really good job. I mean, it's a bit early, but like, still really good job." Like a bunch of random conversations.
I think that Tavumile fully doesn't pick up that it's about her.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, excellent news.
She's so like
they must be talking about somebody else. Yeah. Freaking good.
I wonder who they're talking about.
Cool. So you keep kind of going up in that direction, and the orcs in front of you are just making drinks, like talking to customers, doing how's the weather, that type of thing, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Not at all engaging with anything at all.
I think I walk up to the bar and I go, "Hello."
Let me see if they notice you. Oopskies. They fully just pass you by, don't even for 1 second acknowledge you.
Hello, I need a stiff drink that I can put hopefully in a bottle so that I can make it as a gift to somebody.
Is that enough? Would you look at that? So the lady orc kind of comes up to you. She's like shaking a drink, and she's got like another one half made or whatever. And she's like, "You said you're looking for a stiff drink, lass."
Yes. I'm looking for something that I can give as a gift to Talenthi in 3 days' time.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. 19.
The moment you say Talenthi, she was kind of cheerfully doing stuff before. Yeah. Her face completely falls.
Oh, okay.
Like she's fully just like shut down. Like she stopped shaking the drink.
Okay.
And she's like, "Why are you giving a gift to Talenthi for?"
Well, he gave me a letter that said that I needed to see him in 3 days' time, and last time I didn't bring a gift, and apparently that was really bad, and so I don't want to do that again.
Oh, that was you.
Everybody keeps talking about that.
Well, it was in the papers even.
I don't read the news.
Well, listen, I don't envy you having to go all the way there to see that man. But I really don't think we've got... She's like hip checking all of the nice drinks, like all of the cabinets with the fancy stuff in bottles. She's like, "Well, it doesn't seem like we've got anything that would be, to your liking for that purpose. I could get you a stiff drink, lass, if you'd like."
Well, if you could get me a stiff drink, then why can't I get one for Tembra?
I'm not really interested in providing that man with anything from our establishment.
What's wrong with him? I don't really know much
like,
about him.
She's like trying now to end the conversation by also she's like not really trying to have other people hear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like this is evident because it's like, you know, she's like kind of next to you talking or whatever, and kind of like, yeah, anyway, and she's like shaking drink still and stuff. Roll a insight check.
Okay. 15.
You can tell that one of the people, maybe especially the person that she doesn't want to hear, is the large male orc behind her.
Okay.
So yeah, she's like, I don't really think we've got what you need, lass, if you don't have anything you want for yourself.
Well, that's disappointing. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to go to that fancy Westway place because I don't have a lot of money.
Okay, so the moment you say, like, fancy Westway place, the male orc's ears kind of perk up, and he's like, where are you sending our customers, Viola? What are you doing? And she's like, I wasn't sending anyone anywhere, okay? So you just keep making your drinks, and they, like, have a little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're, like, fully, like, arguing, and he's like, no, we've got what you want, lass, and she's like, no, we don't have what she wants. She
said something. That you didn't have a bottle that I could give for Tembra Talenthi in 3 days' time.
Oh, gosh, these names. Ziola, like, fully rolls her eye. She has two. And, like, Dehun, the male orc, like, fully, like, puts a giant arm in front of her and is like, Tembra Talenthi, and Ziola is like, now you've got him started, and she, like, just walks away. She's like making drinks for customers, but further away.
Yeah.
And he's just like, Tembra Talenthi,
yes.
You're gonna go see him.
Yes, I have to see him in 3 days' time.
Well, do I have something for him?
Oh, really?
You what are you here? Are you here, why are you here in relation to that?
Well, I need to get him a gift because I didn't get him one last time and it was really bad, and everybody keeps saying that they've heard about it.
You,
oh
funny,
my god!
Interesting. Anyway, so listen, a drink.
Yes.
I think
presumably that's in a bottle.
I think that would be the best present. I don't know what you've landed on so far. He fully stopped making drinks. I don't know what you landed on before this, but I can tell you, he was a soldier. I think he'd really fancy a drink.
A lot of people were saying that.
Yeah, and were they? Well, how serendipitous. That's a fun word to say in a Scottish accent. Anyway.
I don't know what that word means.
He is like, listen, do I have a drink? Listen, throw the rest of this stuff in the rubbish bin. I've got a drink. Right. That'll knock his socks off. And he, like, reaches under the bar and pulls out an enormous jar and slams it on the table. And it's, like, creamy yellow off brown, and it has, like, little, spots and stuff in it. And he's like, this is it. You'll want to impress the royal family. You'll give them something that'll replenish their system.
What is this?
This is a collection of essential amino acids. This is a collection of antioxidants and electrolytes that'll, really wake up your system after a rough sesh.
Like when you work out?
Look, I don't have much of a passion for ale and mead, okay? Not like my wife. Let's pay the bills, and he, like, sidles up to you conspiratorially. Yeah. And she's, like, fully looking at you, and he's, like, one eye on her, one eye on you, and, like, hand over mouth to block your reading lips. He's like, listen, this pays the bills, but my real passion is that. And he points at at the other end of the bar, a giant jar of mustard.
Of mustard?
Yeah, it's just like, not making it, ha ha ha, and he, like, slaps the thing. He's like, no, making it last, lifting it,
Lift him up. I used to grow mustard, and the harvests were very heavy.
Yeah, you know what? This'll help you. He like slaps his jar of goo.
Well, fortunately, I don't grow mustard anymore. I only grow water clary.
Right, lass. Well, I think, and like when he kind of backs off and says that his wife, who has been monitoring this, fully, like puts her body in front of you and is like, I don't think we have what you need, and I really think that you should first of all, I really think that you should probably try the Rift way. She's like trying to think of what to say to you.
Yeah.
She, not Monica, she's trying to think of what to say to you. She's like, I really think, I think that the Rift way liquor store would be, they'd have what you need there.
Right.
And, freaking Daehoon, who was trying to peddle his friggin' protein drink on you and is like, well, I think that, and like his wife is just like, we're not doing it. You're not listening. You'll have to pitch this idea at another time when you get summoned to and they start having like an argument. And he's like, when am I going to open my gym? Other people hear him say gym. And she's like, oh, you've got a name for it now. And he's like, well, how am I going to finance it? And she's like, what, rewind the name, please. And he's like, it's an acronym, okay? Stands for good yellow mustard. When am I gonna open it? How am I gonna? And they're like fully, like full on, no more drinks, just arguing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thank you. I hope I get to try it someday, and I hope that your gym works out. Also, I'm really sorry that I've bothered you. I guess I'll just try the Westway place. Have a good day. I love you.
When you say that, when you say I love you, they're like, Daehoon is just like, I don't think it's fair. I love you too. I don't think it's fair. They're like fully causing a scene at this point, and you just kind of like backed out of the thing. Cool. So,
next stop, I think, was the dress shop.
Yeah, I mean, you can cut directly to the liquor store if you want, but on your way before then is the dress shop.
I think I'll stop by the dress shop first just to be like, well, that's where it is.
Okay, cool. So, yes, you are, again, taking a little walkity walk to the dress shop, and it's now that you're sort of like you're in the trading post area with the frickin' proletariat working, getting their pants dirty and all that good stuff. You're at a tavern, the oasis of the proletariat, and now that you're walking in between there and fancy zone, you're getting a little bit, cobblestones are a little bit, shinier.
Yeah.
Someone been out there with some brooms making it right for the world. The storefronts and stuff, they've gone from like the dented euphonium and the corner shop, no sign, broken sign type stuff, to like her thing for threads, like fancy schmancy. Everything's very curly and beautiful. And before the kind of buildings were like dark neutrals, dark green, whatever, and now it's pinks and bright fancy colors. And the class of people, if you will, you're seeing furs, you're seeing a lot more. Roll a perception check.
Okay. I would also like to mention that I have the cigarette still. It's like still in my hand.
Just like carrying
I've been given a gift and I can't. I think that's
I love that.
Yeah. That's one of Tavumile's like universal rules, is that I have been given a gift and I cannot give it away.
You can't give it away
unless I re-gift it to somebody else, because then it stays a gift.
Oh, very good. It must never become not a gift. Got it. Well,
for my perception check, I got a 12.
Okay. You are not high society enough to put together that this is happening.
Okay.
You can tell that the buildings are getting nicer and stuff like that, but in terms of like, basically what's going on is this. There's a lot of elves all of a sudden.
Okay.
Before there were a lot of other folks, and this is elf territory.
Okay.
Tavumile doesn't. She realizes that, but doesn't realize maybe why.
Okay.
Like the connection between high status and elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm uncreative and they're uppity in this universe as well. Yes, so you're walking in the direction of the dress shop, and so there are many dress shops for you to choose from on your way. As you're kind of keep going, we're looking for something, high class, fancy schmancy. Once you get to the end of the directions that I gave as a joke and don't remember, you approach a dress shop, and it is like tiny little Soho hole in the wall, like window door, and it's little, but like you can tell as you walk past it, or you walk up to it, you look in the window, and it's like there's like one dress and one hat, and one pair, like that this is it, and it's got like an elvish name, the dresses. Yeah, so as you approach, you see inside a fancy lady, big house, big feather boa, big dress, little tiny parasol for no reason, like little purse type thing, talking to a sort of like Chanel-looking wearing elf inside, sort of like matronly, like shop clerk status, like fancy matron.
Okay.
And they actually roll them a perception check. Okay. Roll me a perception check for them.
12. But like on the dice, I don't know what their plus is.
As they're talking to each other, the sort of older shop clerk looking lady looks over the other lady's shoulder and kind of like points in your direction, and it is like not soundproof glass, but it's loud outside and stuff. Makes motions to you in your direction, says something to the other lady, and then she turns to look at you and is like very animatedly talking to the other lady as she approaches the door.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you just gonna wait for them to come out? Or are you gonna go in, or?
I think that I want to try to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd try to open the door.
Okay, so yeah, as you open the door, it's kind of like both you and her have your hand on the door handle on opposite sides. And so as you kind of push it open, she pulls it open and kind of helps you. And like as she opens the door, she is like, "It's marvelous. I can't believe, it's so perfect, so perfectly on theme. I cannot believe that you've done such a good job, for a person. Anyway, yes, look, all of the ladies are going to love you.
What?
You look so perfect.
What?
These little flowers, you'll be the talk of the evening.
The Oh, you mean the ones in my hair? They just grow there. You're like and you look like this all of the time?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect. But for certainly you're going tonight, right?
Oh, going where? I'm just need to buy a dress.
To the ball. What do you mean you need to buy a dress?
Well, I'm supposed.
You don't have it already.
No, I'm supposed to see Talenthi in 3 days' time, so I thought that 3 days was enough time to get a dress.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, but you are still going to the ball this evening, regardless.
What's a ball?
Are you really? You really aren't? And the sort of like older lady is just kind of standing in the doorway, like, I'm not going to interrupt this high status woman with my comments. Yeah, and so you're just having conversation kind of in the doorway, and you're like, what's a ball? And she's like, do you really not know? Is this just sort of a coincidence?
A lot of people keep using big words. I'm not sure what coincidence means.
Is it by chance that you just sort of look like this all the time?
I guess so.
And you're here?
I'm not quite sure what's so special about it. I just need to find a stiff drink, which apparently I wasn't allowed to buy at the tavern, or they didn't have anything for me. I'm not quite sure what happened. But also, a nice dress to wear, because when I see Talenthi, I guess I need to look nice, but then also I need to give him a gift, and I'm not quite sure.
Everyone knows that.
I didn't last time, and everybody seems to have heard about it.
Oh, was that you?
What did the article say?
Anyway, so
Nobody will answer me.
listen, and she shuts the door in the like matron lady's face and is like, listen, all of the dresses there are dreadful. If you come to my place, I can get you settled with something perfect for the evening. You absolutely must come. You're perfect. All of the ladies will be the talk of the ball.
I did promise that I was going to be back somewhere before dark.
Listen, promise me you'll go to the ball instead.
Oh.
You've got to.
Okay.
Listen, you've absolutely got to go.
All right.
Okay, excellent. So what's all this business with Talenthi?
Well, he sent me a letter, and I'm supposed to see him in 3 days' time. And I'm also, I haven't been able to find a gift. And honestly, I'm more worried about that now after everybody's told me that they've heard about it.
Well, you said something about a stiff drink.
Yes.
And she's as you're talking, she's like got one hand on your back and is like ushering you into a tiny little white carriage with a white horse and a like fancy elven like driver in a top hat.
Yes, I was told that I could go to like a Wethway store, but I needed to know somebody who was a previous customer.
Oh, the Throthongus, of course. I don't know. Help me. Yes, they have the most wonderful alcohols and liquors there. Is that the present you're going to get for Tenbra?
I guess so, but I only have 4 gold and 1 silver, so I hope that that's enough.
Well, listen, we can probably discuss the price once we get inside. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think that they'll have anything that would be out of my price range.
I mean, do you think that any of this will help? And I pull out a handful of oats, the buttons, and a leaf of the water clary to be like, trading, perhaps? Maybe we could in my town where I live, sometimes we trade goods.
She's like, you're rambling, and she's just looking at your hands. Roll a perception check.
Okay. 13.
You don't notice anything odd about the way she's looking at what you've taken out. And she goes, "Oh, what's that?"
Well, this is a button I found in the river, and honestly, it's one of my favorite ones. And I was told that some people might find it really valuable.
Right. This sort of leaf actually is sort of what I was talking about. Is that?
It's water, Clary.
Okay, anyway, so go ahead and put that away. I bet that will work fine. I don't think you'll have any issue buying anything you want, so no worries there. Don't even worry about it. Now we've got to discuss your look for the evening. And so she starts prattling on about whatever. Horse goes clippity-clop off to the liquor store. At some point she's just like, chives to the Frongus, whatever I said. Post haste. And he's like, yes, ma'am, and starts in the tiny little prissy horses clip-clopping. Yeah. She's like, oh, so we'll go with a princess seams, a peigne. Of course it will have pockets. I'm just saying things that I know about clothes, which is not that many things. So you're in this tiny little carriage, clippity-clopping off to the liquor store, and you over the sort of cacophonous sounds of this fancy lady who has yet to introduce herself.
Yeah. I don't think she even knows my name.
That's true. Clippity-clopping off to the liquor store. There's a lot going on, horse, carriage, cobblestones, lots of people, all that good stuff. So you're not really sure what the shaking feeling you feel is from.
Okay.
But it seems somehow different from anything you've ever felt before. And it doesn't go away until you stop in front of the liquor store. And that's where we're going to end. Yep. We're going to end here and pick it back up in the next exciting episode of Nat 2.
Man, I like all the little voices you have for everyone.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
It's because it's only me. And everyone needs to sound different.
Hey, man. Once I start voicing some NPCs.
Yeah, man. I was like, Fingers has to sound like me so that I can have a break halfway through. It's like at the top of the bottom of the last episode and the top of this episode, I get a little reprieve.
There you go.
There we go.
Well, we'll see y'all next episode.
Heck yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
Arrivederci.
Bye-bye.
Bye.